Game on.
Hello game gurus, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to have a look at something I got here from Shiloh over at New Wave Toys. It's one of his Kickstarter projects and it's his little mini boom boxes. I got this the other day. This is the first chance I had to take a look at it, so I'm going to do an unboxing because, to be quite honest, New Wave Toys even makes the unboxing an event. So let's see what we have inside here. I got my trusty little X-Acto knife. Let's go inside the box here. Now New Wave Toys is very well known for making mini arcade machines, but they've been branching out over the years to doing other things like coin machines that are actually battery banks, little Walkmans, and now this is a working radio built from the old machines back in the 1980s. And let's see what we have in here. Okay. Okay, inside the Kickstarter box, there's actually two separate units in here. We have the M90 Micro in its own little box, which you have right here. I'll put this to the side for a second. Some little packing material. Don't really care about that. Even I don't care about that type of stuff. And then we have the larger M90 Mini. It also includes a carrying case. So we're going to put this main box aside here, and we'll compare just initially the M90 Mini versus the M90 Micro. You can see the boxes are substantially different in size. I think I'll take a look at the M90 Micro first, and then we'll take a look at the larger M90 Mini. Saying that's larger compared to the big box, not really, but compared to the Mini it is. So let's have a look. Okay, first we're going to have a look here at the M90 Micro. It says quality built, big power since 1981. I'm assuming that's from the original M90, which was very big back in the 80s. It's got some information here, and again, now they do a nice job with the boxes themselves, so we're trying to save this box as best I can because I am that kind of crazy with my collecting. So that's the outer protective box. Let's see what we have inside here. Put this to the side. And we have just something you would see back in the day, a micro box that looks like the M90 box back in the day. Now, there was an old place back in the 80s I used to go to called Traderhorn. And Traderhorn used to carry TVs, VCRs, all kinds of different appliances. And they'd be lined up on the walls. It's something you don't see anymore, really. But I do remember seeing these boxes up on the top shelf. So let me get a little closer view for you guys over here on this box. So here's a closer shot of the box. I almost hate opening up this tape because I have to get inside to look at the unit, but I hate opening this type of box because it looks like exactly it would have been back in the day. But here we go. I'm gonna cut this box open. It's like slow torture for me. All right, here we go. My knife would even work. What kind of knife is this? It's supposed to be an X-Acto knife. There we go. Oh, it's like breaking history. It's like the worst X-Acto knife I've ever gotten. There we go. So we permanently opened up the tape. That hurts me a little bit, but we'll never get to the machine inside if we don't. So let's see what we have in here. We have some foam on the top. Get this thing out of the way. Oh, look at this. Okay, the first thing we got here, of course, is our USB charging cable. And this is actually USB micro to USB-A. It's not USB-C. And then we can see inside the box, very well packed and secured, is a tiny little, look at this thing. This in my hand here. Little working radio. We get this out of the bag, and people know I like saving my bags too. And of course we have below that a little instruction manual inside here. But look at this thing. Get a little bit close for you guys. We have a nice little handle on here. We have a little New Wave Toys emblem on here. Probably been with the manufacturer back in the day, having that on there. We have two aerial antennas on here that looks like they are posable. I think they are anyway. Let's see. They do come out, I believe. That one's kind of stuck. I don't want to break anything. There we go. So these are posable. Look at that. Get this one out of here. There we go. They have a nice little spring action to them. It's like the metal has little divots in it, so it kind of locks into certain positions, which is kind of good. And I think they extend. And they do extend. Look at that. Bring it all the way up. Put on some angles, and we can turn them around. So that's kind of neat. They're very, very big on their details. There's some blue cellophane covering up the radio itself over here. And we have our decal on here saying M90 Big Power right there. The sticker was coming up a little bit. I did press it down a little bit on there. Man, it looks really, really nice. And this is obviously going to be plastic and some metal components in here. Like I believe these here, no, these are plastic as well, but it's got some good weight to it. It could be from the batteries in here, but it feels kind of solid. And it looks really, really nice. And there's a power button here on the back. Right here we have our power button and the micro charging port back here. And it's got some nice rubber feet on the bottom. So again, this is supposed to be like a little Bluetooth radio connected to your cell phone or the Bluetooth device. And I'm not sure if it's got any juice right now. We'll try and power it on. Let's see. Hit the power button. And it did turn on. But like I said, right now I have to connect this to my cell phone. I'm currently using my cell phone to record this because my camera stopped working for some reason. So I will test the Bluetooth on this right now, but I'll put some links down below to some other people who have tested it with Bluetooth. But the sound quality is good. So maybe I'll get another phone and we'll try it out a little bit later. But right now we do have a little indicator on here flashing to let you know that it is running. And they usually do recommend you charge these things before you turn it on for the first time. But this is really, really nice. Now none of the dials turn here, so everything is fixed. This is really just a Bluetooth speaker. So I'll find something to play some music on and connect so we can kind of hear it. Okay, this is the micro unit from New Wave Toys. This is just a Bluetooth speaker. Now I'm going to play some music on here, but obviously you're only going to hear the sound as good as my cell phone is going to pick up the audio. But I'm going to tell you my personal opinion after each song, how well I thought it sounded. And since it's Bluetooth, just use a regular cell phone. I got a cell phone right here. I'm going to use it's an old Droid that I've had lying around. Just when it turns on, it defaults to Bluetooth mode. And all you have to do it on your cell phone or other device is just search for a device. It'll show up M90 Micro and just pair it. There's no code of any kind. So I'm going to play some music right here and let's see how it goes. Okay, the music to me sounded very clear. I'm going to do it one more time on one song for a few seconds just to show the different volume, because you control the volume from your cell phone device with the volume control. So hold on one second when I start a song. I'm going to bring the volume down and then back up to maximum. That's the lowest setting, which is off, and here we go, going up. Okay, at the maximum setting, there's probably a little distortion, but I think that would happen with any speaker. But it gets very, very loud. I mean, too loud to, I think, listen to as close as I was to the unit. So again, that's just the micro unit here. Before we get to the mini, I want to stand corrected on one thing. The volume knob here actually does turn. It's hard to do because it's so small, but you can adjust that. So that's the only knob I see on here that actually does adjust. But that's why I guess you can change the volume right on the device. So I just wanted to note that really quick. I'm going to look through the manual real quick to make sure I'm not missing anything, because generally Glenn does not read manuals. But I'm going to take a quick flip through this one right here. And here's our M90 manual right here. Let's do a quick little check here and see what we have. Oh, I thought it was like a regular manual. It's one of those flip out ones. It could have been that way back in the day, I suppose, but I hate these kind. I'm not a fan of these. So let's see real quick what we have here. Okay, so we have our handle, which we knew about. We have our charging port. We have our speakers. Power button. Number 2, volume. So number 2, that knob I showed you, is the volume button. So you can adjust the volume. It's just so tiny. This one right here. And you can turn it to adjust the volume on there. But I'm really impressed with how much this thing weighs, or how small it is. It feels like you put it down, like the wind's not going to blow it away or anything like that. But that's really it. We got the speakers, the volume knob, and like I said, it is a Bluetooth speaker. Let me pull out the M90 Mini and do a comparison of the both. Okay, now let's take a look at its bigger brother, the M90 Mini and carrying case. This does have some good heft to it, so let's take a look and see what we have inside here. Put this thing out of the way. Bad X-Acto knife, bad knife, bad knife. There we go. Oh, once again, we have a beautiful box inside. Let's get this thing out of here as best we can. Let's take a closer look at this one. Oh, this thing got some weight. So here's the smaller brother box here, and here is the larger box. Let's take a look at this larger box. Get a little bit closer for you guys over here, and we can see again. We have the mini stereo radio RC MC90KS, the M90, and they did a really nice job with the box. Again, we have the side, we have the reference number, watts, 30 watts, New Wave Toys, past quality inspection, this beautiful yellow tape that they used back then. And box, again, the New Wave Toys packs boxes inside boxes inside boxes to make sure when you get these, it's in perfect condition. Now, I know some people don't keep the boxes like this, but when you're a collector, you do want these things to be in good condition. And you can see this thing is in immaculate condition because this was a box inside a box inside a box. And it really is going to kill me to cut this tape again, just because it looks so nice the way it is, but I'm going to have to do it. Here we go. Okay, we got my nice dull X-Acto knife again, and we're going to cut this beautiful, beautiful tape. Try to anyway. The worst X-Acto knife ever. It's funny, back in the day when I got these things new, I could care less. I'd rip the box open. Now I can't bring myself to ruin these boxes. Oh, look at this. Okay, so we get some additional additions here that did not come with the little mini. This just came with this power cable and the radio itself. But here we got some, looks like extra goodies. So we have a carrying strap. And this even has some good weight. It's metal on the side, so we'll take a look at that a little later. We'll put that, I'm gonna put it over there. And now inside the manual, which New Wave Toys has done this with their mini arcades, they gave some additional dials. So when you paid like Tempest, their Tempest New Wave Toys machine, which is a nice little unit, the spinner, which is arcade accurate, is very hard to move with your fingers. So they included a secondary spinner you put on top to make it easier to turn with your fingers. And as I was saying here on the Micro, the volume control is here, but it is hard to turn with your finger. So it looks like they include some additional buttons here that you can overlay onto the switches here to make it easier to rotate. And they look like they're turned aluminum. And they feel like turned aluminum, so we'll put that aside as well to look at a little bit later. Another cool thing here, again, New Wave Toys were like their Dragon's Lair. Inside their Dragon's Lair cabinet, if you open up the back, there was a mini Laserdisc player with a Laserdisc. And it looks like they kind of did the same thing here. I don't think it's functional. Actually, I'm pretty confident it's not functional. But it did include a little tiny cassette. Even with the arcade machines, they include tiny little coins, but I thought the Laserdisc with New Wave Toys' Dragon's Lair was more of a better reference to this little cassette. And we'll take a look at this little cassette again in a minute as well. Put that aside. And then of course we have our manual, and this looks more like an actual manual. So let's take a look. This looks like it is the manual we've gotten back in the day. And it looks like it is an actual manual. Now this is usually pretty thick, but they usually have different languages in here. So we'll just take a quick look here. Right here, we can see all the different buttons on here that we would put those 4 larger buttons on, or knobs I should say. The package contents, we have the mini stereo radio, a cassette, cables, manual, extra tuner knobs, and a wired remote. Oh, that's nice. And we have here parts list. We have the left speaker, right speaker, radio band, microphone, radio tuning knob, bass control. I'm not wearing my glasses, sorry guys. Treble control, balance control, volume control, cassette door. I wonder if we could put the cassette in there. Cassette eject button, power button, mode button, play pause button, review button, cue button, and remote input jack. And we'll go to the next page. We still have English here, and they show different things here on the back, and there's the remote as well. So it looks like a remote. You can turn it on and off. You can, what does that say? Change the mode, play, and cue, and review over there. And that's pretty much it. And that goes, I think, from English to French. So very nice, very nice. Looks like there's some good options in here. I'll put this down as well. Now it's time to get to the actual radio, and it looks like the radio case is actually a molded case. So I'm gonna get this thing out of here. We have to turn this thing over to actually do this. Like I said, New Wave Toys makes unboxing an event. So I'm gonna put this beautiful box down over here. And we got 2 pieces of foam, and you can see the radio is actually inside its case. So we're gonna have to take these things off here and the side. And everyone knows how much Glenn's Retro Show loves bags. So we're gonna save this bag as well. We'll put this down to the side. And the case, it's a hardened yet a soft case, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's molded, so you can see what the radio looks like here, and even on the back, it is molded. But it's got some strength to it. It's not like you could press and you're pressing right on the radio itself. There's definitely some rigidity to it. And it looks like there's a small handle built in already. We have a nice New Wave Toys logo on here, and we can see our clips on the side here for putting on that carrying strap. So you can put a carrying strap on this as well. And the case itself, I mean, it looks really, really nice. It was included with the unit, at least in the Kickstarter one. So let's open this case up and see what we have inside. I'm kind of excited. It even has a little M90 on the zippers. Very smooth and satisfying. There we go. So you can see here is the radio, and you can see there is some foam. Yeah. Oh, it's styrofoam. Protecting the case, but there is what we're looking to see, the actual radio, the M90. Let's get this thing out of the case. This thing looks, I never owned an M90. I actually owned a Sampo AM/FM radio PA TV set. I still have it to this day. I actually have 2. One, I don't know what happened to it. I was a nerd, So I used to take my ColecoVision out of its case. I would tape it to the top of this machine. I would take it to school and we played Donkey Kong in class. But my friends, a lot of my friends did have this radio. And this was always in recess, someone's blasting their radio. Oh, here's stuff in the back here. So we have our radio itself right here, and there's some more things in the case. We have our, now they use the USB-C. There's a USB-C charging cable. So the Micro had a USB Micro, and this one has a USB-C for charging. And it looks like here is our wired remote. I'll take this thing out of the bag real quick. You want to take a look at this? I think it's kind of a nice addition. I don't remember the radio having this, but again, people took it to school. They probably didn't take their remotes. But here was our wired remote. And back in the day, yes, back in the 80s, remotes of this kind, a lot of times VCRs, even TV sets still had a wired remote. My family never had that at all. That's not true. Our VCR had a remote that just had pause and play. That was the whole thing with the VCR. But none of the TVs we had remotes. It was me or my brother going up and actually changing the channel. But it's got some good tactile feedback. And we can see we have power, mode, play, review, and cue on there. Again, nice attention to detail. Screws on the back and a little phono jack on there. We'll put this on the side. And we just take a look at the case real quick. Now the case is a nicely designed case. It's not cheap in any way, shape, or form. They put quality even into the case, which is kind of neat. We're going to move this aside just for a second, put this out of the way, and take a look at the actual unit here. And this bad boy has some weight for sure. Let's get a little closer shot for you guys right here on the radio. And this thing looks really, really nice. I mean, it feels like if you hit someone with this, you're going to hurt them. This thing is solid. I'm assuming it's maybe from the batteries or maybe the speakers that they use, but we have our tuner, and when I turn this knob, you can kind of see it in there. Get my hand out of the way. The tuner's right there. I can actually tune it. So you have I assume a working radio in here, number one. That's kind of neat. We have that here. Although it doesn't go, does it go across the bands? Yes, it does. It goes the whole way. It just doesn't appear the way from over here. And then we have our selector over here. This does not, does this move? I don't make sure I break anything. This is our meter mode. That does not move. So these do not move, but these do. The bass does turn. The treble does turn. The balance turns. And actually the volume turns as well. So these buttons right here, they included larger knobs. And down here we have the left and right for the microphone. These do not turn. These do not turn. And this does not turn. So it looks like we have 3 plus this larger one. So we could 3 of these knobs. We could put the larger knobs on. They must have given an extra one in case you lose one. Here is our cassette down here. And this looks like the eject. Does it work? Oh my God, it works. And it is a soft eject. Look at that. Oh, I'll do that again. Everything feels solid. Very, very nice. Now, that would be awesome if they actually made the cassette work. And I guess, you know, that's really going too far. But that would have been pretty cool if they did. But the fact that that does work, and it's got a really nice feel to it, ejecting. And when you're closing it as well, it's got a nice click to it. And we have our buttons here for, let's see, we have mode, play, previous, next. And the power button is right here. Everything else here. Now the speakers work. I believe this thing also has a working microphone. So I'm gonna hit the power button. Oh, there also is the, does that reset? It does not. So there's a little counter here for the cassette, and it does not reset. That'd be kind of cool if it did just kind of turn. But again, very, very nice. Very good attention to detail on here. We have this blue tape on here, which covers up and protects all the plastic. We have our nice rubber feet. Very good. So I'm looking for texture that you would have had back in the day on the plastics. On our side here, we have would have been your power input on this side over here. And I'm not sure if there's anything on this side. Nothing. But we do have our carrying handle and our New Wave Toys logo on there. And again, this thing really has some weight. This thing does not feel cheap and light at all. It's got some weight. And in the back right here, we have our aux in, 3.5 millimeter. I'm assuming that's for, nope, the remote goes here. So the remote would go in here. And it looks like it has no, fake microphone in, but that's where your remote would go. So if you want to use headphones, or actually, I'm sorry, if you want to push in like a 3.5 millimeter jack maybe from your computer to play some music out, you can do that here. It does have a micro SD card slot, so if you have some MP3s, you can put that in here. Here's our USB charging port, and look like there's also a USB-A port. I'm not sure what that would be used for. Maybe that could be used to power, maybe this as a battery bank, perhaps. And of course we have our antennas on here. I'm going to try and pull these things up as best I can without breaking anything, because these things do sit in there pretty good. There we go. There's one. Again, nothing feels cheap. And there's some big, big, big antennas on there. And these definitely move in more directions than the mini one did. Very, very nice. All right, next thing we'll do, let's just turn it on real quick. I'm not sure what it's going to do right now, but let's get the power button on here, which I think was on the back. No power button back there. And I like how the handle itself goes back down, but it goes back smooth, almost like it's on a spring of some kind. Goes down nice and smooth. Where is my power button? Right here, I believe. Now, the original machine did not do that, but it's kind of nice that it did. So next thing we'll do, well actually, one more thing. I kind of get ahead of myself sometimes. Let's take a quick look on the size comparison of these two right here. So here we have basically just a Bluetooth speaker, which is fine, and we'll test this thing out and see how the sound is on it. But here we have much more. We actually have a working radio. We do have a Bluetooth speaker. We do have ways to play MP3s and stuff right out of the back with a micro SD card slot on there. And dang, I can't get over the weight of this thing. This thing is really, really heavy. Well, the next thing to do is to actually connect it and hear some sound. Okay, now the mini unit here has more options. It's a radio. It's just an FM radio. It will play from a micro SD card slot on the back of the unit. I have a micro SD card in here right now with some songs. Same songs I had on for the other unit. And the USB-A is what I thought. You can use it as a power bank. So if you need to charge your cell phone, you could plug into here and charge your cell phone. But you could also use a regular USB memory card, like a thumb drive, to play songs as well. So it'll play songs from here, but also use that if necessary as a battery bank if you need it to charge some devices, which is again a nice cool feature on here. So it has the radio. You can play from the micro SD card. You can play it from the USB on the back. So there's a couple of options that it could do in it. So let's turn this thing on. And again, when you turn it on, it will default to Bluetooth mode. But since I have a card in here, it's going to start playing that first. So I'm actually going to eject that. So I take out the little memory SD card right here. I'll put it aside for just a second. So I'm going to turn it on, and it should default to Bluetooth mode. So this is our power button, and that's our mode button. Now this one, you can also adjust the volume here. I mean, you can do it through Bluetooth, but you can also do volume control on here as well. We'll put it right there. Let's turn this on. And again, it should default to Bluetooth mode. So let's see if it starts playing. Okay, like its little brother, I think the sound quality is very, very good. Now we're going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to start a song with the volume all the way down. So I'm going to turn the volume all the way down here. And we will play the song and raise the volume up to maximum and see how well it goes. That's maximum! Okay, we'll bring that down. So both speakers work very, very well. Now again, this has other features other than using a cell phone as an MP3 player. So if we go down to the mode button right here, we can change it to the radio. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit. And I would pause the soundtrack, so I'll hit the mode button. And it's switching modes. And we can see we have the radio indicator light. Let's see if I can tune in a station. I'm probably have to bring up the rabbit ears because these are functional rabbit ears. So I'll turn this one up over here. And bring this one over here. Now I'm in a basement, but let's see if I can tune something in. Okay, that's about all I can play of that before I get a copyright strike, so I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm going to turn the volume back down, put these rabbit ears back down so they're safe, like so. And the last thing we can try is the little memory card. So I'm going to put the memory card in the back of the unit right here, like so. And it recognized it. And it starts auto playing. And then you can use these buttons down here to change your song. Pause it, play it, turn up the volume a little bit. Next song, go back, and pause again. So very, very nice. Let me give you some of my final thoughts of the New Wave Toys Mini and Micro M90 players. So first we'll talk about what I think about the M90 Micro from New Wave Toys. Well, again, for the small size that it is, it's very highly detailed. It is basically just a Bluetooth speaker. There is a functioning volume knob on here. Everything else is really just to look at. And of course the antennas aerials do work. Pop them out here. But they are very delicate, so you have to be very careful with these. But again, it's not meant to be used every day. You definitely don't need to put these up to use as a Bluetooth speaker, but I have to be very careful. I don't want to bend that. But they feel solid for what they are. Again, power button in the back, micro USB on the back. I'm surprised they didn't put USB-C there as well, but it is what it is. There's no real difference. It still charges it. It's for a Bluetooth speaker, I think it's more than adequate for sound quality and loudness. Actually, sound quality sounds pretty good. There's a little hiss in the background, I think, with both of them, but actually a lot of my Bluetooth speakers have a little hiss, so I can't even fault it for that. But overall, the handle, everything, it's really, really cute, basically. So I'd give this a, I don't know, an 8.5 out of 10. If you like the M90 and you want a little collectible to put on your desk and have it functional, that's the beautiful thing about New Wave Toys. It's artwork that functions. You can use it or you can just look at it. But very well done. The packaging was well done. The box was well done. Very good on the micro here. Very, very worth the price, I believe. Okay, now my final thoughts on the M90 Mini by New Wave Toys. And this thing is really heavy. You know, I wonder what the real one weighed with the batteries in it, because this thing does feel heavy. I'm assuming it's the magnets for the speakers, for the quality. It gets quite loud and it's very good. And also the battery pack in here as well. Now, of course, we wish everything functioned on here. But again, this is a replica of the unit, and it's not meant to do everything the original one did. But we do have our knob here that does work for the radio and has a working radio inside. It'll tell you if it's in tune and if it's in stereo. We do have the treble, bass, balance, and volume knobs. They all work. I did find that the volume knob, when you turn it, it's not like smooth. Like it doesn't go high like that. It kind of goes almost like in digital levels. I'm not sure if that's just this unit or not, but something I did notice. It really would be nice if the volume meters here, that as the beat went, it would go across. But I guess you can't have everything. But that really would have been cool to see those meters go with the sound. but I'm assuming that would have been, I can't even say it'd be too hard because I've seen meters that small, but definitely added to the cost and complexity of building the unit. I do like that the cassette ejects here. That is really, really cool, and that they include a cassette. It's such a shame it's non-functional. Again, the size, it would have been difficult, and definitely would have raised the price once again, and really no need. No one's going to use cassettes anymore, but very cool that they included a fake cassette. But it would have been nice for when it turned, at least. Like it looked like it was doing something when it played. And the mechanism and the eject feels solid. You know, it doesn't feel cheap in any way, shape, or form. All the other buttons here don't work aside from these four, and like I said, 5. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all work. Everything else here is non-functional until you come down to here. We have our power button. We have our mode button, which puts it into either Bluetooth mode, radio mode, or mode to read from the micro SD card or USB slots. Again, both devices default to Bluetooth when you first turn it on. And of course you have functional controls here, and if you don't want to use that and you want to sit across the room, you can use this good old wired remote as well. They include a really nice case, and this one I'd probably give a 9 just because of the size, how it sounds, and they really did a nice job. New Wave Toys really does the New Wave Toys. Again, this is functional artwork. If you had one of these back in the day, no, I did not. I knew people who did, but if you had one of these back in the day, I don't think you'd be disappointed with this thing at all. You can also, again, plug in your computer or a CD player or anything else you want to connect. CD player, I know I'm dating myself. How about an LP or an 8-track? You can plug it in the back of this thing as well, and it would play. Again, the only real short-sighted small part that could be a problem is the antenna. Again, even the real ones, these were delicate. But you want to be careful when using these because when they come up to the very, very tip, they're very thin. If you just press on, you're going to bend. You're going to be very careful putting them back in. But again, when you have a Picasso, you can be gentle with that as well. But overall, I think Shiloh and New Wave Toys once again did a wonderful job. I still can't get over the weight. I mean, this thing's like a workout. But I think both of them, if you do like these type of devices, need a Bluetooth speaker, I don't think you can go wrong with these little New Wave Toys ones. If you want something small and compact you can take with you a little bit easier, or something that you can really show off your friends, put on your shoulder, and kind of rock out like in the old days, right? But again, that's it for this video. If you did like it, please like, share, subscribe. Be sure to go over to New Wave Toys and check out their products. They have some really wonderful things over there, and they have new stuff coming out. Like Cubert should be here any day now. I can't wait for that. But in any case, I hope you did like the video, and if you did, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. But remember, tell your family and friends that you love them, and remember, most of all, music on, right? Let's listen to tunes.
Glenn at the Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.